You're an amazing guest. Thank you, Mello, for being here. This is Dope Nostalgia. We talk to artists for who did big things in the 90s and see what they're up to now. Um, we got to tell our audience too, like the Godfather of Latin Rap is a very prestigious title. So when you were starting out, who were those people who influenced you to bring your brand of music to the world?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the laying first and foremost. But yeah, to get to that, there were several, but I think the most important ones for my growth of Spanish and bilingual was Mr. Chick of the Meme Machine.
Mm.
Um, Probably then MLZ after that, and a close third would have to be. I mean, it's a tie between Curtis Blow, Run DMC, Sugar Hill Gang, and Houdini, probably.
Those are very good names, very strong
Yeah,
musicians.
yeah.
I-
hmm
Is your whole family musical?
The whole family,
Yeah.
everybody from our grandfather, who was the orchestra leader for the Cuban National Army
Mm.
orchestra. All of my uncles, all of my cousins, my brother Sen Dog of Cypress Hill, my
Mhm.
son Cuba, Kazal Organism. My mother sang in the church. Yeah. My cousin Ray, my cousin Ivan, my cousin Margarita played the piano. Ivan plays percussion. Rest in peace, my cousin Ray, who just passed away during COVID. He played trombone. And my uncle Piano plays clarinet, still in Cuba, in Havana. My cousin Miguelito is in um, Angola on tour there, and he is a violinist.
That's incredible. It sounds like you had a
Yeah.
big family too.
Well, yeah, we unfortunately because we defected, our my immediate six, mother, father, brother, two sisters, we never really got to know them,
Mm.
unfortunately. And we know them now a little bit more through Messenger app and WhatsApp and these things, but the connection, it's still not what it should be, because
Yeah.
you don't have any memories together, but what are you gonna do?
Make them now, right? As much as you can anyway. Have you been back to Cuba at all? I don't understand really because I'm in Canada and I know we
Yeah.
don't have much of a travel embargo to Cuba, but I know things are different in the US. So is there the ability to travel to Cuba now?
I think there is now, but I've never gone back. This is my 50th year in the United States. I came when I was 4 years old, so
Mhm.
and I never went back. My mother became the president of an anti-Fidel Castro movement here in the States, and she always told us that we might be on file over there and all this other shit. And can
Okay.
I curse? Can I
Oh yeah, go
let
for it.
loose an F bomb or two? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, which was bullshit because my little sister went back for the first time uh, 3 years ago, and
Mhm.
she had a great time. So go
Wow.
figure.
Is it something you'd want to do?
It is. It really is. But it's just never been in the cards, man. I don't know. It's just. I mean, I lost all my grandparents, um, couple of uncles, couple of cousins, and it's just I just haven't pursued it really. I have no hunger to really go after it.
That's understandable for sure. And once those big hits started happening for you worldwide, and what kind of opportunities did that provide you? Did you get to do a lot of touring to other countries, or what kind of things happened once Monterosa came out and just blew up?
Well, yeah, I mean, Mentirosa was the third single of my career, and that became my passport to the world. And in that time, I was able to play more of an ambassador role for hip hop in countries who saw hip hop as a black music and a black thing to do. Places like Colombia, Santiago, Chile, Mexico, in which I'm the first Latin rapper to receive a gold record there. Costa Rica, Panama, Puerto Rico, Argentina, Spain. The list goes on. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been just about to every Latin country aside from Paraguay, or however you say that. So,
Yeah, I think it's Paraguay. Paraguay.
yeah, I haven't been there and I haven't been back home. So,
Who did you get to meet during the time that your success was taking off that was big influence on you?
well, because that's a great question, but because my mother growing up here in the States was a big Bob Hope fan, and she
Mhm.
watched all those Bob Hope movies, Road to Morocco, Morocco on the water, uh, anything Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. We grew up watching in the house because from
Yeah.
her time in Cuba, they would hear about all these stars. So when they got here, they started able to watch Frank Sinatra movies and all these things. But Bob Hope was a really big deal to her. And one day I got a call from my agent who said, "Hey, they want you to do a Bob Hope special with Bob Hope." And so I think between Bob Hope and, of course, Mr. Don Cornelius, rest in peace, of
Mhm.
Soul Train, those were two of the bigger, wow, like I'm here. I've landed, you know what I mean? Moments
Mhm.
that I can tell you about.
Yeah, and like for the younger generation who definitely should probably look up some of the stuff Bob Hope did. He was a hilarious man who provided so much humor, especially to the armed forces, and you know, he was
Oh
always
yeah,
out,
yeah,
out there doing his specials, and for sure. What's one of
yeah.
your
Those he was doing his he would do his telethons and stuff like that, much like Jerry Lewis and these
yeah.
guys. That classic era of Hollywood, and to appear with him and just that moment in time is frozen in my memory bank and my data bank of great days.
Hmm. What was one of your most memorable performances to date?
Um, concert wise,
Yeah.
because I mean, I did some really great TV shows here in the
Yeah.
States and abroad, but I would have to say, believe it or not, opening up a tour of Colombia for Air Supply, of all people. I mean, we were playing, you know, 100,000 seat football stadiums, football soccer stadiums where it'd be like almost all filled, like 60 to 80,000 people, and the only part of the stadium that was blocked off was like because the stage would have been blocking it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Those were very unforgettable performances.
No kidding. Like seeing that many people in front of you. And they always say it's harder to perform for like 10 people than it is for crowds of thousands. Do you feel that?
I really do. I do. And I've done that too. I've done that too. I'll tell you about a story. In my early days, after signing with Delicious Vinyl, they called us, myself, Tone Loc, and Young MC, who
Mhm.
were the first the graduating class of Delicious Vinyl, to open up for Tila Rock uh, in San Diego State University, and we thought we had really made it, and we thought we were this shit. We're young, and we're finally going on the road, and we're gonna tear this shit up, and we did. I give credit to everybody who performed that night. We gave it 110% for 10 people who showed up.
Mhm.
This is 1987, 88 in there. And one of those people happened to be a rep from Capitol Records, an A&R rep, who had driven from Los Angeles to see my show
Did you
and
know they were going to
approached
be
me.
there?
I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea. We went hard. I mean, when you have guys like Sen Dog and Be Real of Cypress Hill dancing for you, and DJ Muggs as your DJ at the time,
Mhm.
we were just ill b-boys at that time. So our intensity came from a passion from battles in the streets, in the parks, in the backyards. So we were already groomed for more people than that. But if 10 people showed up, they could get it. They could
Yeah.
get it too, you know. And so we went hard, and then I got approached by this rep, Kenny Ortiz, and the rest was history. They picked up my Delicious vinyl contract for, I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 35,000, and next thing you know, now I'm on Capitol with a 7-album deal.
That's incredible. Your time on Capitol Records, was it all a good time? Because I know
Oh
sometimes when I
no,
talk to
no.
people and those labels can be real tough, and sometimes
Well,
you
I
don't
mean,
realize that you're paying for so much of what they're giving you.
yeah, I mean, I think everything could have lasted a little longer had it not been for the MC Hammer scandal
Oh,
that happened, that rocked the building, and you know, the FBI got involved and came through and escorted all the execs out and really cleaned house, because it really hurt our third albums, our second and well, my second, then going on to my third, myself, the Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique album, Mantronic's album, King T's album, Little Shane's album, got lost in the sauce, and we were never able to really recover from that.
wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that things are going well now. And what are you currently working on musically?
I'm doing a lot of, and have been for the last, I don't know, 10 years, probably, no, like 5 years, singles and videos. So if you want to check anything out that I've put out, just simply go to YouTube. My channel is Mellow Man Ace TV, and there you'll see stuff that I've been working on, that is more organic and, you know, doesn't have the big machine behind it, but
Mm.
I believe it's still quality work, you know, that I'm leaving behind. And even though it doesn't find mainstream or pop radio, because, well, we know that that's a different monster altogether, where payola is the name of that game. And unless you have a rich uncle or $1 million budget, your song will never reach that level, right? So
Mm.
um, I'm much like any other YouTuber now. It's like I own everything, but the downside is that you gotta trap traffic to your work. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where before the big machine did that for you. You could just be at the mall spending money or at the club. You know what I mean? Now you
Right.
got to work round the clock. You know, and while the competition is doing Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm in the studio and I'm making music and doing things that I want to do.
And that's the key. You're doing what you want to do, not what the machine wants you to do. So the music quality is probably much more authentic and real you.
I gotta say so. I gotta say so. I believe that. Yes.
Mhm. So tell me too about getting together with your brother for Ghetto Therapy, how that all came about.
Yeah. Ghetto Therapy came about on Sen Dog's album, label record company that he started in '04, '05 in there, and it was called Latin Thug Records. And he got a whole bunch of money from Koch Distributor, and he called me up one day. He said, "Hey, man, you know, I got $20,000 for you right here. You want to come make an album?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll be there in 35 minutes." And no, but realistically, he got paid, put some money in my pocket. I said, "Let's go, let's do it." You know, and we started to take tracks. We had a pile of CDs to go through, and we sift through those while, you know, when he was coming home from tour with Cypress Hill, or I was coming back from a spot date wherever, and we'd make the time to pick tracks, and we got stuff from Be Real and DJ Ace and Scoop DeVille and Warren G and so many guys that contributed to that record. DJ Ace of the Rhyme Syndicate as well. And what we did was I would put together all the ideas concept-wise, rhyme styles and all that. And then Sen would come back into town, come in the studio, listen to what I did, and then kind of follow suit with whatever cadence I would create, whatever style, and then right to the exact same concept that I came to, that I would come with. And it worked well. I mean, we worked really well as a team like that. And so the recording process was a joy for me as his little brother, you know, and after all these years to be able to work with him, it was emotional, I think, for both of us, you know. You know, then, you know, a bunch of shit hit the fan after that, after the record's out. And he pulled one of those, hey, I'm from Cypress Hill moves on me one night after during a show where he called an audible, and I didn't know about the audible, and that was to bring Be Real out without me knowing. It wasn't written on the set list. Only he, Be Real, and the DJ knew about. Didn't tell me anything. So here comes Be Real on this next song. I have a set list that we're going off of, and now I'm like, what the fuck do I do here? What's my role here?
Oh no.
And so after that show, I remember calling him and leaning into him heavy. That's the most unprofessional sack of shit anybody has ever pulled. I don't know where you got that stuff from, but blah, blah, blah. I was chewing him. And I'm sorry, man. It's just that you left rehearsal early. No, I said that, and that's not what happened. What happened was before that show, we had a rehearsal. Sen didn't show up 2 hours later. An hour and a half later, I bolted. I went to our favorite bar and had fucking drinks. Said, you're not gonna fucking play me Hollywood, dude. I'm your fucking brother. So either show up on time or you lose me. And we can push rehearsal to another day. So he goes ahead and does this and works this out when he shows up finally to rehearsal. You know, he works it out. Show day comes. I'm shocked. I don't know what's going on. It's like, whoa. And so I had to chew him out behind that. And he respected it. He knew, you know, but that's the kind of shit that even it's a bad memory, but it stays in my mind, you know, like almost like an accomplishment of a weird way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that kind of thing never happened again.
No.
After that.
What did happen was he canceled the Spaniard tour because somebody got in his ear from Cypress Hill and said, hey, man, I know you guys are doing pretty good with that, and you're starting to get some money and some life, but let's go back on the road and get some real big money. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And this was after he had an episode I won't get into because that's his personal business. But the night before we're supposed to take off to Spain, he called me and said, yo, man, I can't go. I can't, dog, it's the 11th hour. Our flight is in 7 hours. What are you talking about? So we had to pay back all the money to the promoter. The people of Spain who were waiting to see us never saw us. And that was a shame. And I just, at that point, I had enough of those kind of stunts. And I it's not what I'm about, you know? I've always been solo, so I don't have to deal with a lot of other letdowns or group members not willing to travel or not wanting to go here or there.
Right.
I've never had to deal with that, so I don't put up with it. You know what I mean? And needless to say, some other things happened that were personal to him, um, that happened with his label and stuff, that he just walked away from it like he didn't care.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's how that it just kind of fell apart.
It's very hard to be in a group, a band situation. It's much easier to find people to work for you than anything.
And work with you. Yeah. No
Well,
doubt.
with that being said, are there any collaborations musically that you'd like to make?
Well, right now, yeah. I mean, I'm doing like a Super Friends. Ultimately, it'll be an album, but I have done the last three videos that I've done, one with Money B of Digital Underground, the other with Rodney O of Rodney O and Joe Cooley, and another one with MC Magic, and I'm working on one right now with Dana Dane. And the list of people who have already agreed to come on this album are Yo Yo, JJ Fad, Second and None, Domino, Chub Rock, Diggable Planets. So
Wow,
it's gonna be insane when it's all said and done.
that's going to be amazing. I can't wait to share it with all your fans. All that info, they're going to be excited. What
Right on.
album? What album track did you ever do on any of your albums that you wish would have been a single? Because I'm going to play a clip of it on the show for everybody.
I wish. I mean, one thing is to be a single because we can make singles all day,
Yeah,
but to be a hit that I
yeah.
would have loved to have become a hit is one called Magnificent
Mm,
on the I believe it's called the Restoring Order album. And that's like a hidden gem of an album.
mm.
It's only on Bandcamp.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So uh that that album, I mean that particular song, I think it's that record, yeah. Magnificent. It's one of my favorite rhymes. Because before Bismarck, he rest in peace, passed away, you know, it was using his cadence from Nobody Beats the Biz, but flipping it in a bilingual manner that, if you ask me, is unparalleled to a lot of stuff that you get or that you hear or that you've heard. That one particularly, and if I had a close second, it would probably be a song called "You," YZU is
Mhm.
how it's spelled, on my Vengo a Cobrar album, which means I came to get paid. And that was also on an independent label. You might be able to find that one on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to play a couple clips so people get a chance to hear them.
good deal.
Yeah. And what's a concert that you went to that changed your life?
I just had this conversation yesterday because I had another interview to do. And
Oh wow.
concert that changed my life was 1986 or 87. Myself, DJ Muggs, my brother, Be Real, Tomahawk Funk of Funk Dubious, and a couple of the street homies from the block. We're broke as hell. This is before records.
Mm,
We're broke as hell. We want to go see the Raising Hell tour. Run DMC, Houdini, LL Cool J, and the Beastie Boys. We didn't have no money, but we had a couple of cars that we could get in the vicinity. It was at the Greek Theater, big theater here that's legendary.
mm,
We get there and we had, we had some drinks and we had some weed that we could afford, and we hiked up a mountain. I don't know about. It was a mountain that was at least like 50 yards or more, 100 yards, maybe 100 yards up.
mm.
And we're dodging trees and trying not to get our Adidas all fucked up. And we were able to watch the entire concert from the top of that mountain, looking into the bowl and the whole Greek theater. And it's packed. It's packed. And we're sipping Jack Daniels and smoking bud. And we're up in the mountains and shit, hoping we don't fall over and shit, holding on to shit. And I think separately and individually, I think we all told each other one day that's gonna be us. Nobody said much, but I think we were all thinking it because that's exactly what happened.
That's incredible to think about. Like, what a good memory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's vivid. It's vivid like it happened last week, really.
I bet. Who are you currently following in this hip hop rap world right now? Who impresses you?
When I hear it, maybe J. Cole, stuff,
Mhm.
guys like that.
Mhm.
He's really lyrical, and before he passed away, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Mhm.
Those are my guys. Um, but aside from that, I'm not really tuned in,
Mhm.
and I don't know what I'm missing out there. I'm not interested.
I hear you. I don't pay attention to what's on the radio nowadays. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get involved in using the internet in its early stages in the 90s when it first came out to promote yourself, or to just, were you interested in the computer scene? Oh, it just muted you. Sorry.
Landed in Texas.
There you
Um,
go.
Be Real was the one that really was on that shit earlier with MySpace,
Mm,
and I kept asking him, "Are you sure, dude? Like, this is some shit, and I don't understand, and blah blah blah." And, no, man, you got to do it. So I started with MySpace, and so he was the one that really pushed me to do it. I don't remember it in the '90s,
mm,
but in the early 2000s is when I got on board.
yeah.
Whenever MySpace, whatever year that was, I
It was
got
a
on
good
board.
good way to actually connect with the fans one on one too.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and there's no excuse now for not answering fan mail.
True.
Yeah, it's in your DM, and
It's
and
nice.
if you're gonna be a douchebag, then you'll still be that kind of a douchebag. But there's really no excuse nowadays. Whether
You're
it's 2 weeks from now or 3 months from now, it's gonna be there still. And you should
yeah,
reply. I do. I mean, hell, that's how you and I got connected.
exactly. I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that. When you have that blue check mark on Instagram, I've always wondered if the mail goes, the DMs still get to you or not.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Sweet. I'm going to wrap things up with one last question, of course, asking you about this being a nostalgia show. Is there any kind of food or clothing item, clothing line, toy, whatever makes you nostalgic for those days?
Yes, and I recently bought it on the Facebook Marketplace app. It was an Evil Knievel stunt motorcycle
Holy
that with
shit.
the crankshaft. With the
Awesome.
crankshaft, I have it sitting in my living room. Every once in a while, I'll fly it off my front porch just to feel 10 years old again.
That's incredible. You said you got that on eBay?
No, I got it off the. I followed the Evil Knievel page, and one day it popped up
Oh,
available for resale, and I ordered it, and it came, and I started playing like I was 10 years old again. It felt really cool.
oh, that is so awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad that you're doing well, and I can't wait to hear all your music that's been coming out. We'll share some clips and make sure everybody gets a chance to follow you, Mellow. Thank you so much for spending this time.
Hey, my pleasure. Again, thank you for the lane. You've been amazing. And yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to send all your viewers over to check me out every Thursday on my podcast. It's called the Havana Lounge Podcast.
Well,
Every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Mellow Man Ace TV on YouTube. Okay. Uh,
perfect.
Thursday, tomorrow we'll have the rapper YZ from Jersey, who was instrumental in signing poor righteous teachers early on in their career. We've had great guests, we've had people like Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony. We've had
Yeah.
Daz Dillinger of the Dog Pound. We've had, you know, baseball players and, just agent. I mean, just go check it out. There's a lot of stuff there. JJ Fad, Rodney O, Arabian Prince. If you like the legendary stuff, it's there. And it's something that has me really excited. It was a challenge to turn from a rapper to a YouTuber. And I like a challenge. And
Fun.
yeah, so we're having some fun with that. We've had, Tito Puente Jr., Joe Bataan. I mean, it's just, there's some legendary interviews up there.
Good. So people can still tune into the old ones too, if they want, right? When they go check it out.
Absolutely archived.
Beautiful. Well, we'll share that with them for sure.
Good deal.
And I'll go check it out too. So
Right
thank
on.
you, Mellow. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, my friend.